Welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, where our mission is to provide education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. USA Global TV and Radio connects you with experts and audiences all around the world every single day to help you succeed in business and to live a richer life. Visit us at usaglobaltv.com to learn about career and life-changing training and mentoring programs like the Listening Mentor. Subscribe to our newsletter to stay informed about our special programs and offers. Discover how you can become a guest on one of our shows or a host or producer of a USA Global TV and Radio show of your very own. That's USA Global TV and Radio, where the doctor is always in.
Hello and welcome. A big, huge hello to everyone around the world. This is USA Global TV and Radio. I'm Dr. Jacalyn-k, and our show today is the Planet Earth Show. We're going to be discussing natural resources and sustainability. Joining me is the star of our show, Mr. Roland-Friedl. He is somewhere in Europe in his motorhome. Let's welcome him to the program. Hello.
Hello, Dr. Jacalyn. Hello, everyone. Great to see you.
It's so nice to see you as well. And just there on your tagline, you have coach, speaker, author, and entrepreneur. Can you tell us a little bit more about these services that you offer and who can you help?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, actually, I after university, I went to the corporate world and a few years, and then I started my own businesses. And with all this expertise in sales and management and leadership, I started our consulting training company in Switzerland. More than 2.5 decades ago, so 27 years ago. So we are facilitating trainings, workshops, consultings all over the globe for international businesses like Xerox, OpenText, banks, insurance companies, so many businesses, but also for startups. We have a new product actually that we delivered. It's for managers or top leaders. It's a CEO for CEOs who want to apply for a CEO job. So we really help them to promote themselves. We help them to write down their success stories, their CV, and help them to find appropriate occupation. That's what we do. Yeah, I'm very engaged in men's work. I do a lot for the environment. I love to travel. Actually, a lot of stuff because, as I said, the day has 24 hours. The week has 7 days. So I'm full. I just love to work. I love to explore new things. I love to try out new things, and all this experience I share with my clients in different aspects. So I work as a coach, as I said. I work as a speaker for companies. I'm becoming an author, launching my own entrepreneur. Maybe somebody has no idea what is an entrepreneur, but most of you are familiar with entrepreneur. Entrepreneur is a businessman. But from the meaning, when you go back of the meaning of the word of Sanskrit, which is the oldest language in the world, and still never changed anything. Entrepreneur is not a really good meaning, to be honest. It's a person who exploits the nature in other persons. So my teacher, Dr. Jeffrey Armstrong, actually he was on the Mallorca Connection show twice, and you can Google him on YouTube when you go on USA Global TV and Radio, the Mallorca Connection playlist. You find Dr. Jeffrey Armstrong. We had 2 shows together. And he came out with the term entrepreneur. This is a business person who is not just exploiting, but also giving back, not just for greenwashing or just for PR, but giving back from their heart. This is a mantrapreneur. That's what I'm doing. Taking care about others, sharing and caring, more or less. Thanks.
Thanks so much, Roland. You're doing quite a bit, and we appreciate you being able to take the time to be here today, especially when you're a man on the road, a man in demand. So thank you. And our topic today is natural resources and sustainability. And again, this is the Planet Earth Show. So this is a very important topic. What would you like us to know about the significance of natural resources and how that is directly related to sustainability?
Yeah, no, actually, like always, I want to talk about my own experience, and I want to talk about what we can do on a daily basis, on small little things that we can do and taking care about natural resources, because we are really a consumer society. We're consuming faster and faster and faster. Our products are not lasting so long. So when it's not working again, when it's not working, when it's not functional, when it's not up to date, when we don't like the design, whatever, what the color, whatever, we just throw it away and buy new stuffs. And most people don't consider that all the products we are buying, no matter what it is, it's clothes or it's a smartphone or whatever it is, it's made of a material, and this material is coming from somewhere. I don't know, maybe the clothes you're buying are from cotton that has to be grown, or maybe it's a synthetic fiber that has to be produced. When you buy a smartphone that has crystal, it has CPUs, meaning the chip that is made from different minerals that are explored all over the world. So we have to take care about where the stuff is coming from, and there are no endless resources in the world. So yeah, I want to talk about what we can do on a daily basis to take care about natural resources, and so they last longer, and we can enjoy this lifestyle that we have longer, maybe our kids and grandkids' kids.
Excellent. And somebody was just telling me the other day that instead of buying new clothes for their children, they're getting their clothes from other people. Their children have outgrown the clothes, and apparently there's some websites where they offer free clothing and other things that people have used and now they want to donate. I think that's great. I do a lot of donation for various charities so that clothes and books and other things around the house can have a second, third, fourth life.
Absolutely. You know what? I never went on the flea markets to buy stuff, or especially clothes and stuff like that. Or I never was looking any websites to buy secondhand stuff. But my previous girlfriend, she had all these fancy designers, and I was wondering, oh my gosh, how can she afford this? Because I know how expensive it is. My second wife, she had a lot of boutiques running in Austria, so I know about pricing that some designers are quite expensive. And my previous girlfriend, she had all the designers and all, and you know what? Not one or two or four pieces, hundreds. To be honest, I've never seen so many clothes for a woman in my life. Never ever. Never ever. And her house was full. I mean, she came to Mallorca. The house in Mallorca was full with clothes. I've never seen so much clothes in a private house, to be honest. And I was wondering how and she told me she's only buying secondhand. So she's buying on certain platforms where rich ladies are buying some stuff, mostly never wear them. They never had them on their body, or they just had them once for an event, and then they sell it for very small money. And she was buying clothes from me on flea markets. And then, to be honest, in the beginning, I didn't wear them because I don't want it. Somebody had on the body, I don't want it. But you know what? Actually, yesterday, before I went down the south, I was buying on an online portal 3 pairs of flip-flops. Actually, they're all brand new for $1 or $2 each. I said, why should I go to a shop and pay $25 or $30? So I bought them online. Yeah, it's a good idea, and I changed my mind. So before I buy something new in a shop, I go on different platforms and maybe I find the product there. Maybe it's used and in a very good condition, and I save money and I save natural resources. Yeah, I do the same too. But it was not 4 years ago. Never ever. But I changed my mind. So we all can change our mind.
I'm with you. Before I throw something away, I think to myself, where is it going to go? I mean, how is it going to get processed? And one thing I learned from this platform, and you might know this already, I learned this from Pet Psychic Amina, is that when dogs, and I can say definitely iguanas, when they go to the bathroom, that doesn't just disintegrate into the earth. I mean, I can look around and see defecation. It's still sitting there, even though the sun's beating on it. So I think that's something to think about, even waste. are you picking up the waste from your animals? And if so, how are you disposing of it? What are you doing? Or are you just letting them go wherever and thinking that it's going to somehow disappear, which is not going to?
No, mostly not. I mean, you know, when my dog is running through a forest or something like that, and he goes on the toilet, I leave it there, because what I don't like is I see many people, especially here in Europe, they're collecting the poop in a plastic bag and then they throw the plastic bag away. And I said, what the fuck is going on? Leave the poop there. It's a kind of humus in a few days. So yeah, sometimes I do in the wild, because you know, the deers and the fox and the bears and the wolves, they also don't go to they're not using a public toilet anyway. So yeah, this is okay. But
no, that's what I was going to say. Was I do believe that there are some creatures that eat the waste. You know, there are insects and things that eat.
Yeah.
But what I'm talking about is if you're living in a community or a neighborhood and then you're letting your dog go wherever it is and thinking that somehow it's going to disappear.
Absolutely. But you know, I've been many times to India, and in India and in other countries in Asia, they don't have garbage collecting systems like we have. So they put everything on the street, and the organic stuff is eaten by the dogs, by the cows, or whatever. And the rest, at the end of the day, they burn down.
Wow.
Yeah.
They burn it.
They burn it. Yeah, it's really, that's why they have smoke all over the city. You know, when you go to, it doesn't matter which city you go in India, the smoke there is incredible. It's incredible.
I
You
didn't
don't
know
see.
that.
Yeah, it's really bad.
So how
They burn
does
down.
that impact their health?
It's actually in the large cities, it's not a healthy environment. It's really bad. It's really bad. I remember once when I was in India, we had 14 inland flights, 14 flights, because it's a huge country, huge, 1.4 billion people living there. So there are more people right now than China. And we had 14, and there was only one city, Kucherao, by the way, beautiful city to visit. This was the only one when we have been on detaching, also on approaching, on landing, we could see the city. It was the only one. But the other cities, Mumbai, Delhi, wherever you're going, Varanasi, wherever you're going, you don't see anything when you look out of the airplane. It's full of smoke. And I remember that we had a beautiful hotel when we came back from a train ride. We needed a break, and I said to my wife, "Look, let's go in a nice 5-star hotel. Friend of mine is manager. It's a new opening. We get a special price." So we went to this amazing hotel to relax, and they had a pool, an outdoor pool on the 7th floor, and we went out there, but we didn't use it because it was impossible to breathe. It was smoke all over the world. It was impossible to breathe. So yeah, it's really bad there. It's absolutely bad there. They burn everything.
Incredible. I wasn't aware of that. Once again, learning things. Thank you so much for that. And so it sounds like they need to have some type of process. So because that's another thing I don't think people realize. People think, oh, India, it's so far away. But the atmosphere, the air, it circulates, it moves. So what's in one place can come to another place.
Yeah, I mean, you know, and the stuff that is not burned probably that goes to the river, from the river goes to the sea, and then you have it on your plate in the US when you eat some fish.
Yeah, that's a great point. Yeah, that's a great point. Our friend Simon has brought up that as well about and also about the pollution. We were talking about on another show, something it seems as innocent as a wrapper, a gum wrapper. I don't know if people are chewing gum or not anymore, but you drop it out your window and it starts blowing around, and the next thing you know, it ends up in the ocean, and you think, oh, it's just that. But imagine that times however many, and before you know it, the ocean's polluted.
Yeah, and also, when they burn the stuff down, what goes in the atmosphere, scientists found out you can find it thousands and thousands of miles in a glacé at the other end of the world. It's circulating. It's circulating. So it has an impact, no matter where it's happening. It has an impact. Absolutely.
Yeah. I've read stories about people who wrote a note and then put it in a bottle and then put the bottle in the ocean and ended up on the other side of the world. So it just goes to show
Yeah.
you it's so we're all accountable and we're all responsible. And you've shared before about some of the things that you do to protect the environment and also some of even your where you buy your food. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, actually, I mentioned many times. For me, that the largest impact on the environment is how you choose your food. Meaning, when you buy local, you avoid so much pollution because you're not importing stuff. I don't know, grapes. I talk from a European point of view. We are growing grapes in the south of Europe and we harvest them in July and August. So for me, it doesn't make sense for example, to eat grapes in December or January and import them thousands of miles away from Chile, from South America, or from South Africa, where we get the grapes in winter. So choosing your food wisely, meaning buying local has the largest impact on the environment. Can you imagine when 9 billion people buy local? I mean, many people do, like in Africa or in some Asian countries too. But when 9 billion people would only buy local food, this is a tremendous impact on the economy. Totally, there are less ships, less containers going from north to south, from east to west. You really have a large impact on that. That's one thing you can do. Absolutely, choose wisely your food.
So when we see a local farmers market, or we see someone on the side of the road that has a stand and they're selling food that they've grown, then that's a great way to buy local.
That's what I do. Actually, that's why, I'm living in a motorhome and traveling around Europe. That's why I never go on the highway. I always go to small streets, and when I see a farmer market or a farm, they say we sell directly, whatever it is, and there's a need for it. I stop over and I buy there. Actually, it's not more expensive than the supermarket. The interesting thing is that I don't know how it's in the US, but here in Europe, when you buy organic directly from the farm, it's much cheaper than the supermarket. First of all, that it's local. The money stays in the village. It's not going to international business, and you never know if they're paying taxes or not, whatever they're doing with the money. I always buy local, everything. I said it many times. I avoid supermarkets if I don't need so. So I buy I'm a meat eater. I'm a carnivore, so I eat a hell of meat. And I buy everything local. And before I'm heading south, I just ordered a lot of meat that I get on Friday. I pick it up from a local farm here. And then when I'm south, a friend of mine, he's sent me some websites where I can buy local food in his country where he's living. And so it's a little bit of research, but it's easy to find because more local farmers and producers are going online, have online shops, or at least you can find them, you can call them and meet them. And I also think it's interesting to get an idea where the food is coming from. Yeah, to see the animals or see the land where they're growing whatever you're buying, potatoes or whatever. It's interesting to see this, and it's always a nice communication. And yeah, actually, we had one also on the TMC on the Mallorca connection. Maria from Spain. I met them because they have a special breed of cows in North Spain. So that's what I'm doing. It's a huge impact. But as I said before, sorry, I changed totally my consumer habit. So I buy a lot of used stuff that are almost brand new, so that maybe somebody bought it. It's not, especially when it's close. I have a very good friend of mine, Detlef. Hi, Detlef, when you're watching. One of my best friends since, I don't know, 20 years, 25 years in Germany. And he's a shopping queen. I call him a shopping queen. He's shopping like crazy. I don't know what the fuck he's doing all day, but he's shopping all the time on the internet. Clothes, and shoes like crazy. And mostly he never wears these clothes or shoes, or he has them and he doesn't like them. The color is not perfect. And whenever I see him, I shop a lot privately from him for a very small price. And as I said before, I buy on the internet, or I look at different platforms. Actually, this week I bought 3 pairs of flip-flops. So that's what I absolutely change. And also when I give stuff away, I bring it to I put it on platforms to sell it, or I bring it to local communities and stuff like that, so I don't throw it away. That's one thing.
That's great. It's great. And I know, Roland, when I first met you, which is years ago, it's hard to believe at this point in time, but you were living in a big home and you were on the island of Mallorca and you were hosting yoga retreats. And so you've made a lot of changes just in your footprint alone of the space that you're taking up. How's that experience been for you?
A little bit scary in the beginning. Of course, a little bit
But
scary
you're
in the beginning.
happy that you did it.
I'm absolutely happy that I did it, and you know what? I have much more time for the things that are really important in my life. Absolutely, I'm a more happy person. Absolutely, absolutely. Because the point is, it's nice to consume. Of course, it's nice to have things, but when things own you, and you know what I mean, you have a huge house you have to take care of, you have a lot of stuff. I had 4 cars, motorbikes, stuff like that. Then the things own you. So you spend a lot of time and energy and money, of course, to maintain all the stuff, to take care about the stuff. I changed everything, and I feel free. I'm a happy person. I feel absolutely free. Absolutely, it's wonderful.
Now, I'd like to just talk a little bit more about that because you've talked about natural resources and your sustainability, and again, the footprint of you and the space that you're taking up has changed. And was that well received by your friends and family when you said, "Hey, I'm making this change. It's significant. This is what I'm doing." How did people feel?
Well, first of all, I'm not trying to educate people. I'm not finger pointing. You're doing wrong. Do it like me. I'm not. I try to be a role model, and some people realize what I'm doing, and they said, "Hey, it's a cool idea. Let's try it." And they asked me for advice how they can start. I always said, start slowly, one small step, another small step. So don't change your life in a day. This is a lot of frustration. So change slowly, slowly, slowly. Maybe you begin with your consumer goods that I don't know, maybe you change your mobile phone not every year, maybe every 3rd or 4th year or something like that, or maybe you start buying local with your food. So yeah, people realize what I'm doing more and more, but some people said cool, but they're not changing. Yeah, it's the same too. But I'm not a finger pointing person. This is not my business. Yeah. When
One thing
somebody's out
I
of there, it doesn't make sense.
One thing I admire and respect about you is that you really are your own man. You're your own person, and you put out there how you feel, and it's based on research and experience and education. You don't just throw something out there. So you did the research, but the other thing is the emotional part of it. You probably could not have anticipated.
To be honest, I don't care. I give a shit what other people think about me, to be honest.
No. I mean the emotional part of leaving a home that it's there. You go there
You mean, yeah, I mean, it was a learning process because when you grew up in the Western world, we are very driven by performance. On one thing, you have to perform, and then you consume. I mean, of course, I was educated in the same system. In the beginning, when I was young, I was very proud about my success in businesses. I was very proud about the stuff I was buying. Of course, but after a while I realized they don't make me happy. Yeah, I remember I bought many years ago. I bought a very fancy, very expensive sports car, almost $300,000 car, and you know what? I was driving this car, and actually I had to wait 1.5 years when I ordered it, and they only have a limited edition. But I wanted this car, and I had a monthly paycheck, so I said, okay, when my paycheck is, I can afford it with 1 month paycheck, I'm gonna order it. So I ordered it, and 1.5 years later, I got it. And I will never forget it. I drove this car in the first week, and I was thinking, oh my God, my life is still shit. My relationship is not working. This is not working. I'm not happy. So the car didn't change anything for me in a positive way. You know what I mean? And I realized now it's not the material stuff that make me happy. It doesn't mean that I still love. I have a nice motorhome. Actually, last week, and I spent an amazing 3 days in a beautiful hotel because a customer invited me. Beautiful hotel. I really enjoyed the food there, the nice room, the spa and everything. Yes. But I'm not attached to things. when I can really enjoy them, but I'm not attached. I can let them go. I can let them go. I don't miss anything. I don't miss the house in Mallorca. Nothing. It was a good time. Absolutely, it was fantastic. But I don't miss. I'm not attached to things. And what I learned more, I'm also not attached to people. So when somebody from my friends doesn't want to be a friend of mine anymore, somebody said, when you love somebody, let them go. When they come back, let them go again, because nobody else didn't like them.
I love that. That's a good one. Okay, are you going to tell us what kind of car it was?
So sorry.
Are you going to tell us what kind of car it was?
It was a Porsche GT2.
A Porsche. I was going to say Maserati.
No, Porsche the GT2. Yeah, I guess it was the most expensive Porsche that they're selling. Yeah.
It's a great point, and it also ties in with sustainability, because I know for myself, and I was discussing this on an earlier show, I've moved 19 times, so I'm not really attached, but every time I move, I have more stuff to get rid of. And now, for being 60 years of age, almost 61, I don't have anywhere near the amount of stuff that I used to have. But what I would spend money on were shoes and bags. This is a typical thing for women, right? It's shoes and bags, because I really didn't like myself, and I would buy them thinking that was going to change everything. And then you get them and you don't have the money anymore, and you still are the same way that you were before, but now you have less money. So I think it's a good lesson. And, something else that really occurred to me, it's a little off topic, but I started watching this show, and I know you don't watch television, but on Netflix, not a paid spokesperson, I started watching this show about people who had plastic surgery, and then it goes wrong, and these doctors help correct it. And people have had 200 surgeries. And at the crux of it, I think to myself, isn't it that we just don't like ourselves? So we're willing to instead of do the work, we'll have the work.
Mm.
What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's an interesting point, I'm absolutely not a fan of plastic surgery. Absolutely not. I know the history behind it. This was this Brazilian guy. The first guy in the world with plastic surgery was a very famous Brazilian doctor. And we had a very famous racer when he passed away 1 or 2 years ago. Niki Lauda, he was world famous. He won the world championship 3 times. And he had this bad accident in Germany. He crashed his car. The car was totally burned. He was totally burned. He must have a hell of pain. And I guess 2 weeks later, with all this burned skin, he was putting on a helmet again and driving again. And so, and there was this Brazilian doctor who did plastic surgery by people who had an accident, like burned skin, like that. But later it became a business. And yeah, I'm not a fan of that, because we are like we are, and the my question is, when somebody looks in the mirror and doesn't like what he or she sees, maybe we should look behind us and, what is my mindset? What is my belief system? Everybody's unique. I'm not a fan of it. I'm not a fan of it. We are like we are.
Well, so here's a question I have for you. And I haven't had any plastic surgery. I've had Botox. I've had some fillers over the years. But I think the challenge is, and maybe it's not this way for men, I don't know, but for women, I'm going to say for me specifically, my face does not look like it used to look. And that's a tough one. It's a tough one, because although I've earned whatever it is that I have, I don't necessarily want it. So I think and then I say to myself, well, is it because you don't love yourself? Well, no, I love myself. I don't love that. So it's like if you have a car and you take really good care of the car, but it has some dings and dents in it. Do you call the dent doctor and have them take it out, or do you go, hey, I like my car with the dents? What do you think?
Yeah, but yeah, of course. We always try to repair and fix stuff. But the thing is, when people think about plastic surgery, the question is, do you get more attention and more love for that? The second thing is, why are doing people this looking younger? I just so scared about because we have to die one day. I don't understand it, to be honest. I don't understand. But I look older too, you know. I don't look that bad, but you know, I don't have the same muscles like I had years of course. It's not the same. The skin has not the same tension. But it's okay for my age because I try to live healthy. I don't smoke. I avoid alcohol as much as possible. I work out, yes, but I don't look like in my 20s. When you see a picture of myself when I was 21, I was working as a photo model. It was just amazing. But who cares? I'm not gonna be 60. I mean, it's part of the game.
You know, it's funny. Yesterday, and I posted this on social media, I went and took a spin class. And I took one the day before, but that was the first this weekend. That was the first time I did spinning in 5 years, at least, in a class. I have a spin bike in New Jersey. But anyway, I was the oldest person in the class, I believe. The instructor told us she was 28 years old. And there were all these young women, everyone's showing their midriff. And you know what? I looked around when the lights came up and there's mirrors. And I thought, you know what? I'm still in shape. I still got it. I can still outride any of these people in this class. And then I went to solid core later and I did my thing. And so I said to myself, no, you don't look like you used to look, but you are strong as hell, girl. So that's all you have to think about. And that's what I do focus. I wish you could be strong and have the look and put it together, but it's not happening.
I had a similar experience last week when I was still at this hotel with the coaching, and I went to the gym 6:37 in the morning, and there was in the hotel there was a famous soccer team. A soccer team there. So these youngsters, 18, 19, 20, 21, 25 years old, well trained. And I went to the gym in the morning and there were 3 boys there from the soccer team. And we had a short competition about weightlifting, and with me, 59, almost 60. I could actually compete with them in weightlifting. It was really fun. And they looked at me and said, "How old are you?" I said, "What do you think?" I said, 40-something. I said, "Oh, thank you so much, guys. You want to drink on a bar?" I'm going to be 60. They couldn't believe it. I said, but you're in damn shape. I said, yes, because every day I do a little bit. And
you know what else it is, Roland? Thanks for sharing that. In our generation, I think we have a different mindset. And of course, I'm not saying entire generations, but I'm saying for me personally, I have this drive and this, especially when it comes to working out. Do you think I want to go and work out as hard as I do every day? No, I don't. I do not want to do it. And in fact, before I go to Solid Core, not a paid spokesperson, I have to actually walk around the shopping center to get my frame of mind, because I know that I have to push myself and I don't feel like doing it, but I do it. And when I'm on my toes, because you could go down to your knees, I'm like, no, you're not going down to your knees, because that's giving up. But what I see people taking out their phone and looking at Instagram. I'm thinking, you're paying $37. It's a 50-minute class and you have to check your Instagram. What is up with this? So, that's why I like to be by the wall. So I only have one person next to me. I don't have to be, So anyway,
I only go for 30, 40 minutes, 45 minutes in the gym, because I don't make any break, and I'm not socializing in a break, and I'm just really, because after 30, 35 minutes, I'm sweating like hell. I'm sweating because I'm really working out. But
when I go to the gym, I was just saying, when I go to the gym, not soccer, when I go to the gym, I'm there 40 minutes. Like I don't need 2 hours walking around. Like, no. Get to it, get out. Yeah. Anyway, let's get back to our topic, natural resources.
I want to mention something about also, I don't know how it's in the US, but here in Europe, we have more and more communities where they offer, maybe in the community hall where somebody once a month, you can bring your radio, your smartphone, any technical advice you have, or you can bring your clothes. And there are people who are just for free, they spend the whole day for free and are repairing your stuff. Maybe when your clothes has a hole, they repair it. When your radio is not working anymore or whatever. So, and I think this is a good idea, not just to throw it away, because most companies are not repairing anything. They just want to sell you a new one, or they say the repairing it, fixing is so expensive, it's cheaper for you to buy a new one. But we have more and more communities, especially in the town hall or somebody on a Saturday once a month, where you can bring your stuff and you can somebody, a specialist, is repairing it, and that's a very cool thing. I believe, and it's more and more coming here in Europe. And my friends told me also in Australia and New Zealand. I don't know if you have the same in the US.
Yeah, no, that's an interesting point. And so what have you taken away from that?
What you're taking away from that is, you can use your products much longer and not buy a new one and wasting your resources. So let it fix it if it's possible to get somebody can fix it. Yeah, why to throw it away and buy a new one? Why? That's what I'm thinking. Most people say, but I have a new iPhone. But the other one I don't know how many years I had this one, because it's working. Why should I throw it away? As long as it's working, why should I buy a new one? And the other thing is, I want to share, Jacalyn, is I met a friend of mine, and he's a manager in a very interesting company. What they are doing is they are working together with, especially in Europe, with automotive companies, but also with companies producing dishwashers, washing machines, stuff like that. They're giving their products a second life, and that's the future about consuming. Most people maybe are not aware about it. So what they found out is, and to be honest, these companies don't do it for sustainability or for the environment. That's how they market it, but they do it for profit margin, to be honest. Okay, in business, everything is about a profit margin. Okay, the rest is just PR. But anyway, it's a good idea. What they're doing is, they found out when you have, for example, a simple product, a water pump. Every house has a water pump to pump water. Okay, you have a water pump. It looks like this. And what they do is they analyze the product, like a water pump, a washing machine, a dishwasher, or a car. And they found out what's the most expensive material, and it's always the core, the housing, yeah, like the frame of the car, or the frame of the dishwasher, or the water pump. It's just the housing, yeah. It's mostly aluminium. How do you say aluminium? Is this the right pronunciation? Aluminium?
Aluminum?
Aluminum, yeah, aluminum. So it's the most important part of this product. So what they do is, and they started here in Europe, is they told all the distributors, when your client wants a new one, ask him to bring back his old one, give him money, we pay you, and you give the old machine to us. And what we do is we give this machine a second life. So we renovate the core, the housing, the core product, like the housing where the water pump is in, where the system is. We do an update, a computer update, or maybe change some part, and then we resell it again for a cheaper price. So the customer is saving money, and we save a hell of money, because the core product, the aluminium, we don't have to buy it anymore, which is the most important thing. And the same is going to come with other machines too. So there is a change coming in the consumer industry. And when you look at designs of cars, I don't know if you're aware, but here in Europe, no matter what kind of product brand you're buying, they look more and more similar. So what the future is that when you buy a car, and after 2 years or 3 years, whatever, you give this car back to your dealer. And what you have two choices. The dealer gives the car back to the automotive company. What they do is the frame stays. They do a new update of the machine. They change some parts. They can change the color. They can change the furniture, and then you can rebuy your own car for a cheaper price. That's one thing. Or you buy another second life car if you don't want to wait for yours. And that's what's coming. That's what the future is. Companies find out that resources like aluminiums and steel is very, very expensive. It's more and more expensive, and so they analyze all the products they have on the market and say, okay, what's the most expensive component? We keep this. We just give an update to the product. We renew it. Maybe we change the color, something, and we sell it for a cheaper price. So the consumer is saving money, and the company is making a hell of money, because the margin is much higher, because they don't have to buy and reinvest and spend money on the core materials of the product. That's what's coming. A friend of mine introduced me, and I saw this company. It's amazing what they're doing. So the future is really cool.
That is really cool. That gives a whole new opportunity for jobs, new industries, and saving resources as well.
Absolutely. And I don't know if you remember, a year ago, even longer, we had a friend of mine, Mark, on the TMC. He's working for a company in Munich. They give batteries a second life. I don't know if you remember.
Yes, I do remember that. Yes.
Yeah. They are specialists just on batteries. They analyze batteries and they give them a second life. And other companies do there with their products. But to be honest, and the guys, like my friend said, Roland, it's not about the environment, to be honest. It's just for the profit margin. But who cares? Who cares? Everybody has a different motive. But as long as we save resources and we do good for the planet, all is good.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that. It's been another interesting show where I'm always learning something. And it's time for us to sign out because we've got to go over to the Mallorca connection. So, Roland, what's the best way for people to reach you and who can you help out there?
Well, the best way to reach me is send me an email. It's the best approach. My email address is office@roland.friedl.com. It's my name, roland.friedl.com. Office@roland.friedl.com is the best way to approach me. Whoever is interested in telling his or her story, I'm always interested in where you're coming from, but more interesting where you want to head to, and maybe we can walk the path or a part of the way together. Let's connect. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. And thank you, everybody, for being here. We will be back in just under 20 minutes with the Mallorca connection. So please do stay with us. Until then, have a beautiful rest of your 20 minutes.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone, for watching. And don't forget to sign up on YouTube, USA Global TV and Radio. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Roland. Bye, everyone.
Bye.